Hello, everyone, and welcome back to not a lunchtime hour stream with myself and Jose. The time switch is my fault. Well, it's my sister's fault. She was born today, so her fault.
Yeah, your sister's so inconsiderate, and it's the late lunch hour today. It's the late lunch hour.
Exactly. It's happy hour. It's happy hour.
So first, quick shout out to everybody watching the stream. Like Neil mentioned, this is a little bit later than usual. What we do, we normally do around 12 Eastern. But again, blame his sister. We're here a little bit late, but a lot of interesting news, Neil, in the AI market in the last 24 hours. We've heard some interesting stuff. But just in the tech space, again, it continues to be crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. What did you hear? It's been pretty boring on my side. Other than the CEO of Alibaba saying that we are in the AI bubble, but at the same time, they're going to invest $52 billion in cloud computing. So, yeah, tell me you're behind without telling me.
Of what have I heard? So we've heard that the Alibaba's chairman say there's an AI bubble. We've also heard Ampere's being acquired by SoftBank. I don't know if we just touched that in last episode, Neo. We haven't, right? That was over after the last stream. We've also, OpenAI just announced a new image solution, which I thought was pretty interesting. I'm already using it for a few of my things. Gemini also just released Google just released a new thinking model today, which is better than O3 Mini, I believe. And it's been pretty cool. Now, OpenAI and Google have just been going at it back to back. Whenever one takes the lead, a few days later, we hear something else. So as a consumer and as someone who is really much enjoying the AI market, I'd love to see this. I'm gonna guess that OpenAI releases a new O3 version, O3 Mini 2, in the next few days to kind of take back the crown here in some of these thinking platforms.
Yeah, I've seen.
And how did I forget? Apple is reportedly purchasing Nvidia chips.
$1 billion.
Loop Capital. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So now that you say, yeah, a lot of things has happened since last Thursday. Plus, the markets are pretty green as well since then. So that's great. But for the Gemini Grok type of thing, I saw that post on X. I'll try and pop it up in a second. But my issues with all of these benchmarks for LLMs is that a lot of them are BS. right? It's you show exactly what you want to show. That's the thing. The most important parts are these things practical or not? It's great. You're good at math. You're good at this thing. You're good at that thing. But at the end of the day, you want this thing to actually do practical work for you, right? We're not spending hundreds of billions of dollars for it to get 100 on or an A plus on a math test or something like that. I mean, big freaking deal. Um, so it's this one right here, right? You even see, I mean, DeepSeek V3 from the March release is number one here, and I think this was released before the Gemini announcement, so probably things can change here. So we've got DeepSeek, then Grok. I mean, Grok made some huge jumps here, and what do we have there? GPT 4.5 preview. Oh no, okay, then it's Gemini 2.0 Pro, but that was the one that was announced a couple of days ago, no? Not the one that was
Yeah,
announced a couple of hours ago.
yeah. The one that came out a couple hours ago was 2.5, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, so things are moving quite quickly. Things are moving quite quickly, and I think Sundar said that 2025 is going to be a huge year for AI, for Gemini as well. So I'm not surprised. What I am surprised is this guys right here, right? Llama 4, where is it? I mean, it's been delayed for a while, and I think Mark did not want to release it after seeing DeepSeek, since that's also open source. And they're like, okay, we are spending so much money on this. We're talking a lot about Meta AI, so we better release something that's much better than everything that we're seeing today. And I think maybe that's why they're waiting with this release. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting that Llama has taken its time. I know from a top level approach, there have been some improvements in kind of like post training really helping a lot. So I wonder, especially with this time of thinking. Over here, Cosmic Cells was actually wondering where's O1 and O3. These are non reasoning models. So O1 and O3, similar to R1, are non are thinking versions. So you don't see R1 here. You don't see, I don't think you're going to see 2.5 in this either, because this 2.5 seems to be a thinking model as well. Claude 3.7 has both a non-thinking and a thinking version. So there's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, Llama was one that I would have expected, Neil, to be kind of in this forefront with OpenAI and Google going back and forth. Um, so I don't know if they have an AI event coming up soon. I wonder if if it's less than a month away, maybe that could be it. Maybe they're just waiting for that. But yeah, Llama, interesting, especially with more open source solutions kind of taking the realm lately.
Yeah, could be. That Apple new or rumor slash report was interesting because it's only $1 billion, right? It's only $1 billion. So what's the point? That was my question. I'm like, what's the point? Like, okay, great, good headline, but what else?
Yeah, so to me, I mean, Neil, I don't think Apple is really kind of entering the training game. I think Apple and other players have really kind of seen that let these other big tech giants fight out on the training game. What I want to focus more is on the inference game and being able to provide solutions to mass amount of consumer base. And Apple obviously has a big one. We know that the Blackwell platform is great for that. Right? It seems like Nvidia keeps getting hitting gold back to back. So with the Blackwell platform, it's really meant for the inference game. So I wonder if now that Apple is trying to enter again, 1 billion is not a lot, but it's also not a little. Um, Based on their consumer size, it's probably not enough. But I wonder if they're kind of testing the waters now. Um, and this, Neil, in my opinion, it's really more of a red flag or a yellow flag to the ASIC market, because Apple was expected to be using Amazon's Trainium 2 chip for a lot of their AI solutions. But Jensen mentioned it. Why would you even try to compete against us right now if most competitors are trying to compete against Hopper? Yet Blackwell is 40 times better than Hopper. So he even said it technically they came if they were more Blackwells, they wouldn't be able to give Hopper away for free. That's just how much better Blackwell is. And if you can't give away Hopper for free, how are you going to be able to give Trainium away? How are you able to give all these other ASIC solutions? And there's been a few reports, Neil, that the Trainium chip is so much cheaper in their AWS platform. I think it was like 30% the cost of a Hopper. But sure, why would you want to pay for that though when there's so many other solutions out there? So um, it demand drives the market at the end of the day for the cloud infrastructure. And if you just need to sell as much as you can, you're going to price that out horrendously low because it's telling you that, hey, look, the market doesn't really want this.
Yeah, I mean, touching back first on the Apple thing, it might also make sense after we had the reports that series pushed out for another what then the next big update 2 years or something like that. So the report coming out today might make sense, right? Maybe that's one of the ways how they're going to make sure that the next big series reveal is actually one that is quite useful. So yeah, like you said, inference is going to be the focus and less on data center for data training for training, I'd say, and more on inference. So on that side, it could make sense. A6 wise, yes, as well. I agree. But I mean, if we go back to the last earnings report for Broadcom, Hoktan did say that look, if we are partnering up with those big players, we are only going to choose for those that are high volume, right? Not small players, because like you said, we're not really going with small players that, oh, you have a design, but we're never going to scale up. No, if we go, it's for those that we know we're going to scale up. Otherwise, it's not worth our time. So on that side, it's a bit, say, contradicting to what Jensen said. Plus, I still believe that a lot of companies and folks will still be paying for H200s if those are available. Of course, if they're free, people will take them as well. I doubt he will offer them for free. Although he did say he's the revenue destroyer, so who knows? Who knows? But yeah, maybe that's why we've seen also some pressure on Broadcom. Although we've been talking about that for a while, we think the stock just ran up too quickly.
Yeah, and with kind of these AI solutions and these AI projects, all these big companies, they have like a tier of what should be on the prime focus. So like the best of the best product is going to get the Blackwell chip. But I don't know if you remember, maybe about a month or 2 months ago, Microsoft showed AI model that was meant for kind of like game creation. And it kind of showed like the video of a game creation and it had video controls as well. And one of the things is this is like a lower tier project for Microsoft. So while their main products was using like the H100, the H200s at the time, which were the top of the line product, this lower end product was still using the A100 for training and stuff like that. So another thing that's going to happen is as you get the new solutions, those projects that weren't on the top of the list will now be able to use the Hopper, which is obviously going to benefit that project dramatically, while their most important OpenAI or whatever solution they're going to be working with is going to be using the Blackwell platform um, overall.
Yeah, no, I think I think it was Microsoft and Google. I'm sure it was. I'm sure Google showed it, and I think they even showed it today as well with the little dinosaur game. But yeah, did Microsoft show this as well a while ago? Maybe, I don't know. Too many too many AI news out there. Um, oh yeah, quick question. Micron, the market's reaction on Micron's earnings report.
I don't know. I think the market. I liked it. I really did like it a lot, Neil. I mean, they talked about their HBM solution doing well. Um, they talked about increasing total addressable market to from originally was 25 billion. Then I think the previous quarter they jumped to 30 billion, and then
Yeah.
this quarter they jumped to 35 billion. So total addressable market is growing. In my opinion, if it's growing that much, it kind of shows that more AI chips are expected to sell this year because again, that was total addressable market for calendar year of 2025. They showed some nice signs of some positive growth in the PC market this year. I think they mentioned single digit, but still, that's going to be strong overall. I forget what they mentioned about the mobile space. Um, But in the HBM market, they continue HBM to have a trade-off ratio to continue to grow. I believe for HBM4 and HBM4E, they believe it's going to exceed a 4-to-1 trade ratio, which is going to help dramatically the supply chain for their DRAM solutions. And they also gave a positive sign, not complete bullish, but at least some glimmer of hope on the NAND market. So I think things went well. I do think the market is now fearing a little bit more competition from Samsung, kind of entering this space. And also maybe the market might have expected better gross margins overall. But while gross margins aren't amazing for HBM, they're also way better than legacy products. And that's what you want to have, right? You want to have way better than legacy products, especially something that you're continuing to invest research and development. So I liked it, Neo. I really did. What about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. I liked it very much. The margin hit for the quarter was expected. The one for guidance, I think that's what brought the stock down, and that's what Wall Street didn't like. The fact that margin for next quarter was a small miss. But I mean, the fact that HBM is growing what 50% quarter over quarter, it's already $1 billion this quarter. So yeah, there was way more to like than to dislike, and I guess the market is still trying to buy more of this stock under $100, because otherwise, like what else do they need to do? This is a company that is growing quite quickly. They basically told us that, look, total addressable market just grew an extra $5 billion for us this this year. They're still very comfortable um, with their roadmap. Pricing wise, things are also going to increase. So yeah, I don't know. It's the usual. I I thought today the stock would have gone up already a bit more. Like, okay, Friday overreaction. Then a day or two after, it flips around, like we've seen with plenty of other stocks in the last couple of months, couple of years as well. So yeah, with Micron, I'm a happy shareholder. I'll wait for extra cash, and if it's still at around $90 or so, I see zero reasons why I wouldn't buy extra shares. I do want to say one thing, that since AMD started to go up, the guy who I had my bet with for this year doesn't join the stream anymore. I mean, we're at one close to $115, $5 extra, and he has to become a member of both of our channels. And he just disappeared.
Talking about AMD, Neil, I kind of the stock barely moved today, but over the closing, I saw it kind of um not much of a movement, but compared to the daily movement, it did kind of give a nice rise up. Any thoughts? Did you see anything today, Neil, on the daily chart that yeah, I think around 3 o'clock it just started to really rally up compared to how it moved for the day?
No, I didn't. I mean, it doesn't even want to show me on this slide right here. So let me pop up something else. But I didn't see something that changed. Although it was red during the day, and yeah, I guess towards the end of the day something was mentioned. Yeah, something maybe in the broader markets. So yeah, it does seem like we were at around 112, 113 for couple of like 2 3 hours or so, and then yeah, towards the end of the day, a nice little rise there. Didn't see anything. So if someone did see something, do let us know. In the last month it is up 7.3%. In the last day 7%. That's still down, and for the year we're also down 5%. But we are uh, we are making our way towards the $120 mark. So very good, very good. Julie's in the house. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Neil, this is pretty interesting one. I don't. So Ernest, Jose, do you like Nebius stock? And Neil, what percentage of your overall portfolio you're looking to accumulate to this? So, Ernest, I don't know much about the stock to really say if I like it or not. On the top level overview, I see the bullish case for it right now. I mean, just the overall demand growth for AI market is insane, and we've heard that right now we're capacity constrained. The thing that really worries me though is, are these companies just becoming an infrastructure play where obviously the cloud service providers, they provide more than just infrastructure. They provide other solutions that help the gross margins and help the amount of earnings that they can make? Or is this going to be kind of a low level hanging fruit that is just a market that anybody that can build the AI infrastructure be a competitor? No one is, you can't really compete. If you just build infrastructure, you're not really competing much with AWS or all these other players because they have a vast solution. If anybody can raise not anybody, companies can raise a few $1 billion and build these AI infrastructures. So I don't know too much to see if Nebius has that kind of differentiation that allows it to be maybe not a true competitor to these cloud service providers, but have a little bit more moat than just, hey, building up AI infrastructure and that's it.
Yeah. So let me basically share this. So this is basically the summary, right? A full stack infrastructure for AI. At the heart of our business is Nebius, an AI centric cloud platform building large, cost efficient GPU clusters to service the explosive growth of the global AI industry with proprietary cloud infrastructure architecture and hardware designed in house. Nebius gives AI developers everything they need to build, train, and run their models. So it's definitely, I mean, one of their big advantages, according to them, is that they can build these things fast and extremely efficient, which means pricing wise, they are very, very competitive. They are also offer support when it comes to software. Of course, they have other parts of the business that are much smaller, right? The autonomous vehicle side of the business, the data labeling side of the business, and then the educational side of the business. But the majority, 2/3 of the revenue comes from this basically. It's up to them. I mean, they say a world class expertise. The Nebius platform leveraged the expertise of about 400 AI engineers to meet the needs of AI developers and businesses. Built an open source technologies. It combines managed services and in-house solutions with a marketplace offering access to the most popular tools from the ecosystem. So there's definitely hardware and software involved in the solutions that they provide. But I think the big selling point is the fact that they could maybe offer the GPUs at a lower cost than another player that wants to enter that market. Like you said, I don't think it's enough to have money and maybe connections to Nvidia. It's the whole thing that they've got here, the whole team, the fact that they can build fast and efficient. Efficiency is key. Like Jensen said, at one point you will be energy limited. So if you can be extremely energy efficient, you're going to outcompete the rest.
Yeah, because I think this Friday, Neil, right? We have the IPO of CoreWeave.
This
So
Friday?
it's like I think I don't know. I might have misread CoreWeave IPO date. Um, Maybe it's not this Friday. Um,
I know
I'm
there
not
was,
sure,
there
but
was
4 days ago from Barron's, CoreWeave's IPO is expected to price. Oh, just the price is expected as early as next week. But maybe and that was 4 days ago. So I think we're getting closer to it. And my question would be like, this is definitely a growing market, but which one would I choose? Is there a real winner between these two, CoreWeave, or the only thing that I know about them is more kind of like the high infrastructure play, which is definitely an opportunity right now in this AI craze market. But outside of that, where else can they go?
Yeah, I mean, for CoreWeave, I don't. Do you know what price or market cap are they planning on going public? Because I think that was one of the. There are, I think, only 2 or 3 analysts that are covering Nebius at the moment, and one of them was like, CoreWeave is valued in the private market at XYZ price. Revenue wise, growth wise, if Nebius gets to trade at, I can't remember the percentage of CoreWeave, it should be much, much higher. So I don't know what price CoreWeave will get listed, but it might have an impact on Nebius as well. Plus, I've seen a lot of people talk about the fact that a lot of CoreWeave's revenue just comes from Microsoft, and what happens when Microsoft stops basically sponsoring CoreWeave. Um, it's going to be quite interesting. The more of those players that were private for a long time, but we know have ties to Microsoft and Nvidia, the more they go public, the more information we are going to get because they will have to share it to the public. So that's going to be quite interesting. But yeah, it's nice to see the IPO market starting a little bit to move, M&A starting to move as well. Um, interesting times. Stocks are moving as well, so can't complain.
Yeah, I agree, Neil. I mean, and you mentioned it. I think all these IPOs and just all these companies that are working with Nvidia and just the AI market or Microsoft are just great data points to be able to find maybe where we're seeing some weakness in, if there's going to be any weakness at the moment. Um, any other questions you have here, Neil? I think I saw one that I wanted to grab.
Wait, did
Um,
you see this? I thought I saw this, but I wasn't sure. Like Samsung's co-CEO passed away
yeah, I did not
today.
hear about that. I just saw that from the stream here.
Yeah, 63 years old, heart attack.
Oh wow, that's pretty young.
Yep. Huh. That's well, rest in peace.
Hmm. Yeah, so I don't follow. I mean, obviously, I don't know how long I don't follow Samsung, Neo, because I know sometimes people, obviously, like you mentioned, no disrespect, but sometimes people worry about how a company might do after a CEO passes away. I don't know how critical of Samsung being an international company. It's not one I follow too much, Neo. So I wouldn't know how that would impact the overall business. Um, but obviously, I think that's the last thing that should be at the moment in people's mind when kind of hearing news like that.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I mean, we've known previously that Samsung was struggling internally. Um, Things are changing their restructurings and all of that. This definitely won't help. But yeah, like you said, I think they've got bigger, I mean, issues, but things to think about at the moment.
Neil, I think this week, is it this week? When is Intel Vision? We're going to hear, I know the Intel CEO is going to be doing a live stream um, for Intel Vision Day 2025, March 31st
Next,
to
yeah,
April 1st.
next.
Yeah. So as an Intel investor, the only thing you want to hear from him or not hear from him?
No, nothing that I will not hear from him. Just whatever he thinks, just say it out loud. What's the plan? Where? How are we moving forward? Focus on foundry, not focus on foundry. Changes that he wants to see made at Intel, because it's going to be the first time that we're going to hear him speak, basically, on the big stage, I'd say. So tell us everything. Tell us everything you think about Intel. You took this spot. It's a very very big seat to fill. So yeah, tell us what's the plan for 2025, plans for 26, 27. I believe yesterday we had even again more rumors, thing from UBS this time, or not rumors, but a report from analysts that said that he's going to focus on bringing on an Nvidia and a Broadcom or a Broadcom for Intel Foundry. Those are going to be huge wins if he managed to do that. I think it's going to be easier to convince an Nvidia to come to Intel for first the gaming side of things, using 18A for the gaming side of Nvidia, and then we'll see how that evolves. Maybe they can use then for the data centers in the future. I mean, would it surprise you if Nvidia uses Intel Foundry in the next 3 years?
No, I think what would happen first is NVIDIA uses them for advanced packaging solutions, um, which I think would be a smart move, as Intel does have a lot of great advanced packaging solutions already. So I think I would see it in steps. I think first we would see them doing that, or where I don't know, maybe the demand is so great that they start to use Intel for a different type of AI chip, and they use TSMC for a different type of chip. You kind of seen that when there's vast demand. I mean, Samsung, for example, they use Snapdragon and Exynos for their phone business in different places. So I wouldn't be surprised if you also see something like that in the AI market where you have various solutions even from a similar player. So um, I think first it would be more of an advanced packaging and then work their ways from there.
Okay, no, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah,
I
exactly
want
the
to take this
comments.
question, Neil. So, Jose, are you finally bullish on Soundhound AI? Neil, I actually became, I hate to say bearish. I don't know if I like saying the word bearish. Let's bullish on this company after GTC. And for those, they didn't really talk about it during the keynote, Neil, but one press release that came out during GTC was Yum Brands, the company that owns Habit Burger, Taco Bell, and all these other players, is using Nvidia solutions to develop their own type of voice AI and all these types of various AI solutions to be used in the restaurant business, a market that Soundhound is pretty strong in right now. I think right now, Neil, the AI market is a little bit difficult per se to enter or to kind of develop into. So that kind of allows companies like SoundHound to have some form of space in it. But NVIDIA's end goal is for AI to be so easy to use, so easy to develop that anybody can kind of go and create their own AI agents. So with this kind of young brands, and they're still in early innings, is showcasing that it's getting a little bit easier to develop these AI solutions. So if it gets a little bit easier, now you're increasing the friction of your customers between SoundHound and kind of, hey, maybe I just need a few AI engineers to work on this solution that NVIDIA has already kind of streamed a little bit better for me. So now I don't need a group of 100 engineers. Maybe I can do it with a group of 10 engineers. And that's something that I can definitely adjust in my payroll. So I think with with Nvidia making AI easier to make, I would be a little bit more careful with SoundHound because Nvidia is kind of entering into that market, and I wonder if that's one of the reason why they had to sell shares. It's like, hey, look, the way we're selling it is we're kind of competing with you in a little bit, so it seems weird if we invest in you and compete with you at the same time.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, plus the fact that the stock did go up quite a lot since they made that investment announcement. So that's a good return on investment. But yeah, I'm not going to be more bearish or less bullish on Soundhound as I've been before, because I just don't see what moat they have. I mean, every other LLM has a voice AI, so
And yeah, I mean, Soundhound has mentioned that they're one of the greatest things that they do is they have a better accuracy rate than some of these other LLMs. But I think once AI continues to innovate at the pace it is, that's going to continue to change. So they might have some moat at the moment, and that might be a little bit better. You can really see the margins difference right now. But I think as AI continues to innovate, that margin and that moat is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller.
and you know what? Even that, I can't believe that. Like I refuse to believe that an OpenAI, Gemini, Meta AI, Grok, XAI, all of them, and Alexa, you name it, are worse than a SoundHound AI. I just don't believe it. But fine, if they can market it at more restaurants and stuff like that, go ahead. I hope they for the investors that they become a huge company. But so far, what I've seen is more dilution, more losses, less less of a margin expansion, and more acquired revenue growth. That's what I've been seeing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I like this from Grumpy Head. And Nvidia robotics and edge AI market is so underrated. They've been getting all devs addicted to their platform, and this is how Nvidia goes, right? Just create that ecosystem, create those libraries within CUDA and with all their applications, have developers run it. If I'm gonna guess, if I went back to college right now and I studied robotics engineering, A lot of my classes will be using Nvidia solutions to kind of learn those robotic platforms. So ecosystem is very, very crucial. And I do believe robotics and the edge AI market is one that's going to be another massive opportunity. Not just humanoid robotics, right? You have industrial robots. You have in the edge market right now, you have a lot of products that just collect measurements. If you add some form of AI application to that, you can do something with that measurement collected. So, Grumpy Head, you made me a little bit less grumpy today by giving me this note.
I mean, yesterday, it's funny, we talk about robotic. Yesterday, I saw YouTube shorts. A guy built a whole contraption of robots that their purpose is to is to make you a origami of a bird. I'm like, I'm watching this 30-second short. You build this whole line with robot arms and whatnot to fold an origami. It's insane, insane. But yeah, still still more valuable than some of these AI startups these days, I guess. I did wanna ask you something about AMD, something that I'm like, why aren't they doing this, right? Because AMD, if you read their blog post and some of the recent posts on X, they're quite happy with the results that they're showing, ROCm and the software side of things, that the new chips, they're very, very well, they're not loud enough. That's the thing. They're not loud enough. Like, why why don't they have big events? Like, I'm not saying a GTC event, but I mean, you got to start somewhere. So I guess if you want to have a big event to show off Rock'em and maybe have a big developer community, why do you think AMD is not as loud as an Nvidia?
Hmm, I think first is probably just the size of their software and developer team compared to maybe like an NVIDIA, which can kind of go with the ecosystem as well. I'm not sure. I wonder if AMD kind of does like more pop-up events in certain areas where you don't really need to kind of showcase it to the mass public, but you're kind of improving it to the software community. The other thing is AMD the past 2 years really just started that AI event at the end of December. That was kind of completely new for them. They didn't really used to have that event. So I wonder if they're already considering that part of their kind of like their GTC moment, which is it's the one we usually get on November and December. So maybe not enough updates come to place where we hear that. I'm hoping though, with MI 350 coming out earlier than expected, the AI event is going to be earlier than expected.
Okay, no, fair enough. There was I did make a video yesterday, not about AMD, but one of the first comments under that video was from a guy called Band 1993. If he's listening, just an FYI, you wrote, every time this gets a like, I will buy one more AMD share. I didn't even pin his post, just for his sake. He already has 116 likes. So time to start buying.
um, let's see, Neil. Anything so Evo Fandango, the market still doesn't understand I think no one really does, right? I think everybody has kind of expectations of what AI can go. I would feel like even Jensen, right? Jensen can kind of have a higher chance of being right of where the AI market can go. It can actually be way bigger than what he thinks. It could be a little bit smaller than what he thinks. Overall, though, I think we are seeing kind of innovations. Um, and it's one of those few technologies that on a weekly basis, or at least on a monthly basis, you see innovation continuing. Like I mentioned, we saw kind of new Gemini models and OpenAI solutions this month. We saw something last month. I'm gonna guess we're gonna see something next month. So it's one of those technologies that at least we in the public, because everybody's spending so much money in it, they have to say, hey, we have to showcase what's happening with this technology. So at least we can continue to see where it's headed and it's improving at the moment.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's the big discussion nowadays, right? All of these investments, where is it going to lead us, basically? So far, you could say that it's still in a, okay, show me what's going on, because so far let's face it. I mean, we've seen lots of previews and all of that, but I would say what next 12 to 18 months we're going to see quite a lot of things, more autonomous vehicles, more humanoid robots, and that's when things are going to get more interesting. Um, there was one thing I wanted to touch on. We are both.
I'm sorry, Neil.
Yes.
I think I replaced it. Go
No,
ahead.
this is a good one. This was the one, Waymo versus Tesla, and then I also wanted to touch on something with Google for April, because I think the lawsuit starts in April with the DOJ, the hearing, I would say. So Prunify asks, Waymo versus Tesla, which do you guys think is ahead, more likely to win in the FSD race? I mean, we both own Google and Tesla, right? Plus, I think you own the cars where you experience FSD as well. Um, I mean, I've only been in an FSD enabled Tesla once. Was pretty cool. I've never been in a Waymo, so I cannot say, but I've seen plenty of videos and it's pretty awesome. I mean, yes, in a Waymo there is no person in the driver's seat, so that's the big difference there. With Tesla, you still have to be in the driver's seat, but that doesn't mean that they're behind, because I've seen Teslas drive on multiple roads that you will never find a Waymo on. Waymo, you could say, is only geofenced. Yes, at the moment, probably that's what you could say. But they're growing quite quickly. They're opening up in more and more cities, especially this year. But I would say, and again, I own both companies, Google and Tesla. I would say that Tesla is probably way ahead. Yes, you still need to be in the driver's seat, but if you compare the videos, if you see what's going on, even in China, I mean, these guys, they are crazy. The videos that I'm seeing there, the guys in the US, they really need to up their level of FSD testing, because the guys in China are going on dirt roads and stuff like that. Insane. So yeah, I would put probably Tesla ahead of Waymo at the moment.
Yeah, I agree, Neil. I mean, I think I personally think Tesla. I've never gotten on a Waymo before, so I can't really say on that technology. But Neil, when I don't have my test, I went away really quick for over the weekend with the family, and we didn't have our test. When we come back, I'm like, oh man, I can finally not have to worry about driving. Whenever I'm on my Tesla, FSD is 90% on. And it's I every time I get in, and I don't know if it as an engineer as well. Um, I feel like I understand that appreciation. I appreciate the technology a little bit more because I understand those engineers there are working night and day. You know, when you work on something, no matter what it is, you appreciate it a little bit more because you kind of know. And have never worked on an FSD, but kind of the engineering technology behind it is I appreciate it. And every time I turn on FSD, it's always mind boggling. Um, I think Tesla right now is ahead um, by a long shot. I mean, you have everybody using it. You have more people using it, but I think we're still very early. I think Tesla's going to have a huge head start, but this is something that in 10 years can dramatically change with things like AI innovations. But early innings, I think Tesla is winning nonstop.
Yeah, no, I agree. Next week I'm getting my friend's Model 3 for the week. Of course, we don't have FSD. It's only going to be autopilot, but just the fact that I can be at a red light and I'll be the first one gone. Ah, great. Great stuff.
And what was the other one, Neil? I thought there was another one with Uber.
With Uber,
Oh, I
yeah.
don't know if I misheard you.
No, I wanted to ask you what you think was going to happen with Google and their, maybe are they going to be forced to sell Chrome and Android, or do you think they will just drag this on for a long time, make their case that, look, today was the worst, well, today, this year was the worst year for you to challenge us on our search dominance.
So let's see if it's not a question if Nvidia will be the largest company by market cap, but when. I mean, I think if AI continues to innovate, I do think this is a foreseeable future. But it always all depends on AI innovations. Cass here talked, Jensen is predicting 1 billion plus. I think he meant 1 trillion in data center
Hmm.
capex by 2028. Quick caveat, it wasn't Jensen that predicted this. He did take the data from some research group. If Nvidia only took 50% of that, will result $500 billion in revenue from data centers only. So I think that's one of the things. First, I think Nvidia, the data center market is growing dramatically. I don't know if $1 trillion is really going to happen, but at least it gives that positive note that it's going in that direction, that it's going up. The other thing Jensen also mentioned is they believe they can grow more in market share of data center. They believe that their revenue percentage can grow. So that's obviously an opportunity for them. And also, these are just data centers only. Jensen believes that more than just data centers are going to be investing in AI. You're going to have everybody investing in some form of AI factory or AI infrastructure. Yeah, there's a lot of growth opportunities here, but remember, it's really, you have to truly, truly be bullish in the AI space, which I am. And I do believe this company can continue to grow.
I agree. I agree. I like how you skipped my question that I asked you about Google and the hearing.
I'm sorry, Neil. My wife was my wife was texting me, and I thought something was wrong with the little one, so I didn't hear there. My bad.
You're excused, but I'll repeat it. Yeah, I'll repeat it. So the hearing in April is basically on the whole search dominance thing. They're still saying that they will force Google to sell Chrome, might even force them to sell Android as well, and maybe stop paying the likes of Apple and Samsung billions of dollars to be the default search engine. So, what do you think will happen? How will these things evolve in the next month or maybe years? Who knows?
I mean, I think something like this, Neil, will take a long time to really kind of move forward. Um, and I don't know, some things end up being like negotiation tactics. So it will create volatility, but I think we'll learn more and more over time that will really make that final decision for me.
Okay, fair enough. I think it's just going to be a waste of time, to be honest. I mean, it's really the worst time to go after Google for search. Like with all the other competitors out there. I mean, that's what Wall Street has been telling us for the last year and a half too, right? That you've got ChatGPT, you've got this, you've got that. It's going to hurt Google search dominance, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're going to hit you with a lawsuit. You're too dominant." I'm like, "Okay, hello, which one is it?"
So Neil, I have only a few more minutes here.
Yep.
I don't know if there's any other question you might want to take.
Let's see. I think Android is a significantly worse loss than Chrome. No, I think Android would be worse than Chrome, um, because well, most of the phones outside of an Apple is Android. You've got an Android ecosystem in other devices other than phones as well, tablets, wearables, and all of that. Plus the Chrome. I mean, both of them would be horrible if they had to sell them, because I don't know which company can take control of something like Chrome or Android and keep it running as well as a Google, as safe as a Google. It's we are going to be the losers. We are going to be the losers in such a deal. Yeah, okay. Android is more important than Chrome. Yes. Then we
Yeah,
would agree.
hmm, you think Android is more important than Chrome, Neo?
I mean, it's
Well,
it's an operating system, so
but I feel, I guess it depends on where you see kind of, I feel like Chrome is that massive data collection system. And I think data is super, super crucial um, for everything that Google does. So that's why I would put kind of Chrome in a more important list.
yeah. But I mean, even if I mean, because you use Chrome, you can still it's still going to be Chrome, but another company takes hold of that. Plus, you will still go on Google.com, I guess. Unless that other company screws it up completely and we just lose the best browser out there, and we have to start using Bing or whatever.
I guess so. I mean, I do have an Android phone, so it's not like I'm an Apple user, even though I am American. Um, but to me, it's like for Google, if which part would I want to split up? Especially Google's really focused. I feel like for Chrome, it helps them with their advertisement platform. It helps them with their YouTube search. It helps them with their large language models. I just don't see how, in forms of Google developing in its AI market and all those other advertisement solutions, how Android is more crucial than Chrome.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I hope nothing happens. Let's be honest. As a as a Google shareholder, I hope it doesn't. Although if they had to sell it off, they'll probably get way more money than what it's worth today inside of Google. So as shareholder, will probably get some reward from that, but I rather them not do anything. The thought of having to use Bing or stuff, yeah, I agree. Or Firefox. You want to use Firefox? But I think
Or,
even
or, or
Firefox still uses Google.
or that other one that's like that gaming one that I keep seeing, well, on YouTube ads.
Opera?
It's, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's this one and the other one, Brave. Um, Again, I know my data gets collected, cookies, and I have to accept and stuff like that. But to be honest, I couldn't care less because my experience is just so good with Chrome, so it makes my life easier. And if you want to use my little data to target me better for advertising, so be it.
Let me guys know if it's Neil or me that's breaking up. I think it's Neil for bad mouthing some form of Chrome solution.
Yeah, maybe it's a punishment for me switching to Bing for 3 months after they announced the Copilot thing. I think last question here
Neil, I
before
think
we.
this is the last thing. Yeah, go ahead. I don't know who's going, but this is. Have you heard anything about Lyft? I
Yeah,
haven't really been
so
following the market
so
today.
there was an announcement from Lyft and no from Lyft. Someone told me something because it did jump midday quite aggressively. I think it's just an investor group or something like that said something about Lyft. Someone said it before in the comment section. But there was also some news with Mobileye, which Mobileye and Lyft also have a partnership. I think Mobileye and Volkswagen um, expanded their partnerships. So that one also jumped. But with Lyft specifically, was something about XYZ capital, whatever. But yeah, my thoughts on Lyft is it's a value play. It's a value play. We're both Uber shareholders. Quite happy with that. Uber is also voilà, here. We had to go way back. Getting engine capital on board. So cool. But I guess for the stock to really move, they will have to do more than that. Let's see what the stock did today. Up 2.2% with a big jump. Would say midday it went above $13. Did close under it. So yeah, there is that.
All right, Neil, I do have to head out.
Yeah.
So to everybody watching, appreciate the support. Hopefully Thursday we get the right hours. Neil, hopefully you don't have any more sisters or birthdays or brothers' birthdays coming up on Thursday.
No,
Um,
Thursday
no,
is no, the next birthday is my own, so no.
hold on. June just gave me some news that I have to look at. So June just mentioned, she is,
Microsoft.
never mind. Never mind. I am heading out. June, I am out.
False alarm.
Yes. All
False
right.
alarm.
See you all.
See you all Thursday.
See you. Have fun for